Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour live podcast. It's Friday, and I hope everybody's warm and snugged up in their homes. And because I know where I'm from in Eastern Kentucky, Kentucky got hit with snow and ice and all this crap, and just nasty. I know Ohio and Tennessee got it really bad too. But nevertheless, I want to welcome tonight's guest is Saul Williams of Artwork for the Blind. And they have a Donnybrook 7-inch album, Artwork for the Blind 2, and a Dying Breed and the Living Proof albums that are out right now. So you want to pick that up. Also, they're working on a double album that will be released later on this year. So definitely check all this stuff out. But before Saul comes on here and we start blabbing and chuckling it up a little bit, I want to talk about this just for a little bit. Yesterday, because this is huge. This is huge in the music world. If you're not familiar with this, I suggest you to check this out, because on February 3rd, 1959, a small plane crashed near Clear Lake, Iowa, killing 3 American rock and roll musicians, such as Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and J.P. the Big Bopper Richardson, as well as pilot Roger Peterson. This day would be later defined by Don McLean in his song American Pie as the day the song died. Crazy thing about all this, folks, about this incident, Waylon Jennings and Buddy Holly flipped a coin to see who would take the last seat on this very flight. And pretty much the rest is history. Such a huge loss to me personally, and everybody who's involved with music whatsoever. I think this is, still a huge loss to the music industry still this day. So it still has its effect on it. So Saul, welcome to the podcast, man, and glad to have you on here talk to oh good Lord.
It's gonna be one of them days, huh?
Hey, if I don't screw something up, it's not a good podcast, man.
You got started early, I guess, huh?
Yeah. From Artwork for the Blind. So Saul, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. I mean, I haven't busted my ass yet, knock on wood, but it's still early.
Yeah. So you guys are covered in ice in where you at, Louisville or Indiana?
I might as well say Louisville. I can step out the door here and throw a rock and hit Louisville. So yeah, you might as well just say Louisville. But yeah, it's about 2 inches of ice up here, and then snow on top of it. So.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I mean, we're getting snow showers here. I thought this morning when I wake up, everything be just a solid sheet of ice and white. Thank God I'm on vacation this week. So I was like, let it come right on.
It was like that last night. I got off work at like 10, and it was just, most the side streets were just pretty much skating rings, and then like the main roads was like, slush. So yeah, it was. Went home, went to bed. I don't want to fuck with none of that.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Folks, we'll get into the podcast, or we'll get into this interview. I just think it's cool to talk about this a little bit. I was watching a local news channel earlier today around noon, and they said that I thought this was pretty cool. You can actually go in and track the snow plows, see how many snow plows is out. I was like, what is Grand Theft Auto, like virtual? I mean, what's the deal?
It must be that same program they're tracking Elon Musk with, Who knows?
So, man, let's talk about Artwork for the Blind. How did this band come together?
I'm not the original guitarist. I mean, the original guitarist, Coy, Mike, and Larry, original guitarist Chris Brackett, came together in 2012 and just wanted to make a real sludgy, it's real sludgy, heavy-hitting kind of band, kind of, toward the roots of thrash and Black Sabbath, trying to keep it in those veins, and that's pretty much what we've been doing since then. Chris Brackett had to step away. I got tagged in as guitarist, and we've been trying to write, kind of. Thanks. One time somebody wrote review about artwork for the blind and called it kitchen sink metal because it's everything but the kitchen sink, and we're kind of proud of that, and we've been trying to keep that theme going, because like we got so many influences that we try to bring to the table and bring out in our music. So
But is it hard to keep on that lines that you want to stay on? I mean, I know it has to be a thin ice that you're on to say, hey, look, well, we need to stay right here in this lane and not carry over to sound like, say, I don't know, Danzig or Metallica or Slipknot.
no,
I'm just throwing bands out there, man. But
I actually like we kind of like embrace that. We don't, like we want every song to sound like something. This song has a Metallica influence, or this song has a Danzig influence. We don't want to be, and I'm not trying to shit on any genre or shit on any band. We don't want to be like a black metal band where that's all you can do, or we don't want to be, a doom band where that's, everybody's just expecting you to come out and play one chord for 15 minutes. We want to be that band that we can play a chord for 15 minutes and then turn around and go right into a thrash song, and then turn around and go into a melodic song. That's what we're trying to do.
So do you guys like to have that roller coaster feel of an album like that though? Because to me, I think that's good. I think that keeps a band fresh.
Right. Yeah, I mean, not just in an album, but in a song. Like we want to write a song that starts in one place and then just like totally goes off into somewhere else. Just takes you to another plane.
Mm.
Musically, and a lot of times we achieve that, and a lot of times we just write 1, 2, 3 riff songs, punky kind of songs. That's our more fun punk songs. But then we try to write, try to put 13 riffs in 5 minutes. We try to do that too.
How excited are you guys to have new material for the upcoming double album that's going to be released later on this year?
Oh, we're stoked about it because, like I said, I mean this covers covers a lot of ground. There's a lot of different feels on this thing. It's like 16 tracks. There's like I said, there's a lot of sludge on there. There's a lot of thrash. There's some punky kind of sounding stuff. So I mean, yeah, we're pretty stoked about it. And we've been putting out a couple little songs here and there, a couple little this is where we're going kind of things. And yeah, we're pretty stoked about it. We're finishing up our last song now, and supposed to be getting the artwork any day now for it.
So could we see this released a little bit earlier since you've got all the songs completed, or are you guys just still going to go back and make sure that this is complete in what you guys want?
Song wise, it's like I said, song wise, we're working on our last song, but then there's little nuances, samples and stuff that we're going to go back and put and then have it mastered and excuse me, have a double vinyl put out, which we're looking into that because there's still stuff, supply issues going on with the COVID, and I guess like pop music just up and decided they wanted to start making vinyls again. So there's a lot of vinyl people that press vinyls are kind of backed up. I think we talked to one company and they said it'd be like over a year before we got our album done because like fucking Adele's getting ready to put out an album or some shit. So it is what it is. But I mean, it'll definitely be out this year. I mean, we're on the tail end of it.
It's crazy how vinyl has made its way back because I know a couple of years ago there's a guy that I had on my show that said, and I thought he was crazy at the time because he said vinyl's going to make a big comeback and take over CDs and stuff like that. And in the back of my mind, I'm going, ain't no way, no. And I guess I was wrong. I was wrong.
Right. I mean, it was bands, small bands like us, and metal bands that kept the shit going, and all of a sudden it's, I guess these people that drink White Claw or whatever just decided they wanted to fucking get in the vinyl game,
So how many songs did you say that you guys had written right now for this? Was it 16 that you said? Is that correct? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, 16 songs, yeah.
So 8 songs on both albums, double disc pretty much coming out.
Right.
That's awesome. I've been talking about that too. I wish that bands, especially during all this pandemic, man, because a lot of stuff has been written through all this.
Yeah.
Are these, let me ask you this before I get into that. Are these songs that were previously written that didn't make these several albums that are out right now? Or are these all brand new stuff from Artwork for the Blind?
This is all brand new stuff. This is pretty much stuff that came out from the pandemic because, 2000, in 2020 we didn't do shit. You know, our last show played our last show in like February 2020, and you know, as you know, the world shut down, but we still, you know, we still love jamming, and you know, we jam all the time and just bust out riffs and have fun with riffs all the time. So you know, over the course of us not being able to do anything out, you know, we pretty much wrote a double album, and it's like, you know, why, you know, let's put all this shit out. Let's just not pick and choose, you know, because we have the luxury of not having to deal with a major label and trying to cater to that. You know, we can put out everything, you know, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. And you know, the streaming world being what it is, people just pretty much listen to one song at a time any fucking way. So why not just go on and just dump 16 songs out onto the world, you know?
That's what I was going to say. A lot of these bands I've seen here, especially, and I've said this many times too, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but John 5 released every song off of his album a couple years ago. And at the end of the year, when he had all 12 songs released, he released the full album.
Right.
So,
Yep.
And you're right, man. The attention span of people when it comes to music, it's like, okay, what are you going to, like, say you release a new song today, what are you going to do for me next week? It's like, well, what do you mean?
And yeah, I mean, that's crazy that, like, you know, people expect that too, you know. I mean, you know, you just put out a song and you know, it gets a bunch of hits, and then 2 weeks from now it's done, and you got to put out another song. You got to keep up, you know, to keep up with the Joneses, you got to put out another song, you know, every other day, you know. And it's like, and I guess we could have done that. I mean, we could have just took these 16 songs and just been like, all right, let's put out a song a month for the next 16 months and we'll be all right. But, you know, we're old school, and we like, you know, we like albums, and we like having physical copies of albums and stuff. So, like, you know, it would only be fair to us to actually put out an album, you know.
Guys, if you have any questions for myself or Saul, please put them in the chat room. We'll be able to see them. I'm sorry, I can't check the other device or the other platforms right now. I'm working on that. Possibly looking to have somebody help us with this as producing wise to keep up with all this while we're doing this also. So, but if you have any questions for Saul or myself, please put them in the chat room. We will try to answer these as quickly and as possibly as we can. So, do you feel like the band has gotten more stronger, more tighter during all this pandemic, since you had time just to, you know, jam out and practice and just do your own thing?
Definitely. We definitely had time to, you know, sit around and pick each other's brains and argue. And, you know, of course, like, you can't be in a creative situation and not argue. I mean, every band I've ever been in, dude, it's, you know, it gets tense at some point. So, but, you know, that being said, we've also got to, you know, we've learned to talk to each other a lot better too, and communicate our creative, you know, juices with each other a lot better through this. So we've definitely gotten better. And I think you can kind of hear it over the course of this album, because it wasn't like we wrote all the songs and then we recorded them. We actually like recorded the songs, you know, as we wrote them. So like, you know, here's a song, we feel good with it, let's put it down. Here's a song, we feel good with it, let's put it down. And so we done it like that. So like over the course of the album, you can kind of pretty much tell how, you know, we've ramped up and come together more as a band, you know.
What's impressed or excited you the most about creating music as artwork for the blind on this album, man? Well, what sticks out the most about it for you? What impresses you the most?
Really just getting that high of a new riff and a new song coming together, you know. So I mean it's a buzz, you know, and then you hear it, you know, you hear it in a control room, and you start hearing things clicking together and coming together, and Coy starts putting his vocals on it, and you know, Mike comes in and puts the bass on it, so you get that boom. And dude, I just get a high off of that, dude. I mean, it just, you know, it's almost as good as sex for me, you know.
I know you mentioned just a minute ago about being in the room with everybody jamming and fighting and arguing and stuff like that, and that happens. You're right. I mean, that absolutely happens. But with that though, that pushes you. That absolutely helps you. You know, how much did that help you as a guitarist in this band to say, hey, look, I got to step my game up some?
Yeah, it's helped out a lot, you know. I mean, it's dialed my ego back, I can say that. And you know, I'm more open to ideas, you know, as opposed to, you know, hey, no, I wrote this is mine. You know, I've gotten better about, become more open to suggestion, you know, and so that's helped me out a lot.
I know you've got these previous albums and this 7-inch album that's out right now also. But are there any favorite tracks standing out more to you on them? I know you're the new guy coming in, but do you have any favorite tracks off these at all, possibly?
Off of the Bracket era, the Ghost Is You and God Fearing Man are a couple of my favorite songs to jam. I love playing those riffs. And off of the EP, Bring Out Your Dead, Dying Breed, those are fun songs to play. Donnybrook's a fun song to play. I mean, it's just a good fist pumping song. And then the latest song we put out just back on Halloween, The First Supper. I mean, it's a good fist pumper and it's fun to play.
Any tracks possibly, Saul, that didn't make this album that's going to come out later on this year that we can see on another EP down the road or another full length possibly? Are there any that you guys have set in stone that's on this?
No, I can't say songs, but I mean, we would sit around and just jam so many riffs, and luckily, we just happen to have, the mics in the room recording, so they're just, random riffs that we were just messing around with. Coy just happened to jump up and just started freestyling vocals and so it's like we didn't make that into a song. We just jammed it one night, while we were sitting around, few beers in, few dudes in, and just like jammed a couple random riffs, or a bunch of random riffs actually. And it's like, after the album, we'll probably go back and like listen to some of it, like, man, that one, probably that one, but there was those kind of moments. There wasn't like, whole songs, but there's a lot of potential,
Any tracks that are sticking out more to you than any right now on the album that you could talk about possibly? Because I know this is like your guys' babies, and I know this changes every time and every day, whatever flavor. But do you have any specifically for you that stick out?
The ones that are fun for me to play, Chapter 1, Dystopian Times, couple, The Ride. There's a song called The Ride. It's like real fun to play. I mean, I love those songs. I mean, I love all of them. I mean, they're all my baby, but
Sure.
There's some that are like, man, yeah, I can't wait to do that one live, Song called Plan A. It's like a real punky, real touching on some 80s hardcore kind of feel to it, and it's a fucking headbanger too,
Was there a song that was brought to the table that changed than what it was brought to the table? Was there a song that actually changed a lot than it was intended to?
Yeah, there's a song on the album called Tales of the Elder. It's one of our more melodic kind of songs, and it we had to go through and touch up some different parts and beef up some different parts to get that feel across, So it kind of wouldn't sound thin, and then change parts. So like, yeah, I mean, we've had time to tweak it, definitely.
Is it, since we're in the pandemic now, and I know there's a lot of music out there right now, but is it harder for bands to have their music discovered versus pre-pandemic because of so much that are out there now for the new bands? Is it hard for them to be discovered, especially like you guys? Is it hard to get your music out and for everybody to finally say, hey, look, it's Artwork for the Blind, let's check them out?
I can't say that as far as that question goes, I can't say that's a pre-pandemic or post-pandemic kind of thing. I think, since the inception of social media, you pretty much had everybody with a ukulele out here, out here playing. And then, the fact that the record companies just ain't putting money into rock and metal anymore, so there isn't that commercial side of it. Whichever way you feel about that, if it's a good thing or bad thing. But rock and metal music in general has just become so saturated because of social media. So I don't really think that's a pandemic question. I just think that this is something that's been going on for almost 20 years, or probably 20 plus years now.
And the thing that I couldn't believe during all this was cover bands were making it big in a way.
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah,
it is like, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I mean that cover bands. I mean, around here, I can't speak for the rest of the country, but I mean, cover bands and karaoke was always kind of a rage around here. But yeah, cover bands starting to like fill up, concert halls and shit like that. Yeah, that's kind of different.
It's like, now I have no disrespect whatsoever for AC/DC, the Thunderstruck band, because they're fucking phenomenal. I mean, they are
Right.
absolutely
Right.
awesome. But it's crazy, like you said, they're filling out concert halls, they're filling out little music venues that I never thought I would see a cover band,
Right.
sell out, and they are knocking it out. And there's a Metallica tribute band that I
Right.
follow.
Yeah. There's a Iron Maiden tribute band.
Yeah, and the Iron Maidens, the women cover band, they're freaking phenomenal too, and they're selling out like crazy.
Right. I mean, it was always like one of them things, around this area, like, if you wanted to make money, go be in a cover band, because you're gonna make $400, playing at some bar, playing golden oldies at some bar, but to play in front of 600 people, playing Metallica covers, dude. I mean, that's like, dang,
It makes you think, well, I think I should start a cover band.
Yeah, really.
Well, let's see. What about support wise in your area down in Louisville, there, Indiana, Louisville, stuff like that around your area? Do you get a lot of support? Are you shocked about the support or no?
Oh, we got a lot of love here. I mean, got a lot. We got kind of a brotherhood of bands down here that we all stick together and share each other's stuff, support each other. I got people that I played music with for, been in and out of bands with for 20 plus years, and we all share each other's music and support what each other do. And so, as far as this area and this scene goes, I mean, I think there's a good camaraderie here.
What's your thoughts on touring and getting back out on the road if possible for you guys? Are you wanting to do it, or what's on your guys' mind?
We've hit the road a couple times, and it's been kind of spotty, I mean, and then we've had shows that were supposed to be scheduled in other cities, and it's like fell through for one reason or another, because people got scared of the pandemic again, or the venue just couldn't make it, couldn't stay above water. So it's been kind of real hit or miss. It's been spotty, I can say that.
In your opinion, what does Artwork for the Blind bring to the table for music that other bands might not, if anything, possibly?
Creativity and diversity. Because like I said, you're not going to see the same band twice. You're not going to hear the same song twice.
Who's producing this double album that's going to come out? Did you guys do it in house, or did somebody actually produce it for you all?
It's self produced.
What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to this this new album, or just any of Artwork for the Blind's music in general? Saul, what do you hope they get from it, man?
I hope they, well, I mean, depends on the song, really. I hope you're either fucking banging your head or slamming a beer or fucking ripping from the bomb, dude. I mean, that's what I can hope, because like I said, we're like Thanksgiving, dude. We got everything on the
table, I know you have a lot of music, man, that you still have in your repertoire today, as I like to say, repertoire. But do you have a go-to album or song that you find yourself gravitating back to and listening to from time to time that you just cannot kick out?
It's funny you should mention that, and it's funny that you opened the show at Waylon Jennings, because that's like my guilty pleasure, dude. I'm a huge Waylon Jennings fan, and Way More Blues, and Honoring Mean, all those songs, dude, are like some of my favorite shit, dude. And, I go home and I got that stuff on vinyl. I'm a vinyl nerd, Go home, put that on the record player, and that's the kind of stuff I listen to.
Yeah, when I even found out about the whole Waylon Jennings ordeal with Buddy Holly, I was like, when I was doing research a long time on this, on these guys, I was like, you got to be kidding me. So It was a coin toss that decided who was going to take that seat. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And Waylon had that guilt on him for a long time. I don't know that I could say he took it to the grave with him, but that bothered him for a long time, and that's been documented.
Oh yeah. He said that many times, that it's he said I should have been on that plane.
Right.
So wild
but
time.
Being a Waylon fan, I'm kind of glad he wasn't. I hate it for Buddy Holly, but I can say I'm more of a Waylon fan than a Buddy Holly fan. But who knows what that would have turned into?
That's very true. I mean, Buddy Holly had some great stuff come out, but I feel like, and I'm not knocking Buddy's music at all whatsoever because I like him. He's a phenomenal musician, but I just feel like Buddy Holly has to have the crickets with him.
Right. Yeah.
That's just me. You know, like I said, I like Buddy Holly's music. I have no disrespect for him whatsoever.
Yeah. Right.
But you have to have the crickets with him. That's like saying, you know, Metallica. Who you want to see on bass?
I was gonna say when the Beatles all started doing their solo projects. I mean, yeah, it's cool, but it's it's not the Beatles, you know.
Yeah, because when they start going to their songs on each solo project, you're like, okay, where's the rest of the Beatles?
Right.
They cut their tracks or cut their what the crap happened?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
What has been your best musical moment that you still can't believe you or the band were part of or have worked with, possibly, Saul?
Probably last September we got to play Blue Ridge Rock Fest, and it was probably one of the biggest years they've ever had. I forget the numbers in attendance. I mean, it was like in hundreds of thousands. And got to stand on stage and watch some of my favorite bands play. I got to watch Anthrax side stage. I got to watch Body Count side stage. We got to see Suicidal Tendencies side stage. I was watching Body Count, and I look over and COC's drummer standing right next to me, and I'd caught their set. I'm all fanboying out like, oh my god, you guys are awesome, dude! Like, oh, this bad shit. Then I got to meet Body Count's bass player backstage. And, yeah, I mean that was pretty phenomenal. That was pretty good times, and it was a pretty good festival because it had got canceled. We were supposed to play the year before, and it got canceled because of COVID, of course. So they doubled down the next year and made it even bigger. So I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I don't know that I could compare it to Woodstock, but I mean, it was just everywhere you look, there was people, and every stage, and there's and people just. We had a real warm reception. We could only play 30 minutes because we're some underdog kind of band, matinee kind of band, but we still, I mean, the people, we probably had a few hundred people watching us, and they was moshing it up and loved it and fucking ran up to the stage, and we was throwing pics and shit out to them, made us feel like $1 million.
Oh yeah. And think about it, man. These people that you're meeting that you grew up listening to, they're just as appreciative as like you guys are for anybody liking your music.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've seen Joey Belladonna from Anthrax was like 2 feet away from me, and he's walking around backstage, shaking people's hand, and thank you for coming out and all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, it was awesome, dude. It was an amazing time.
What I don't understand is if you guys get on Blue Ridge, why not Louder in Life? Take it to that next level, man.
I mean, I wouldn't turn it down, I wouldn't turn it down, but I don't know, the Blue Ridge was more receptive towards harder, heavier bands, whereas I kind of think Louder in Life's more poppy kind of stuff, We're kind of a death metal, sludgy kind of band, kind of grungy, So we don't get our haircuts the way they do.
I've covered Louder in Life ever since its existence. Ever since it started, I've covered every single year for this podcast. So I love. But last year I didn't get to go because I was in the hospital and I didn't get to see Metallica, which killed me.
Yeah.
So hopefully one more time I'll get to see them. I've seen them once, so hopefully I can get them to see them again. But I mean, Judas Priest was there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a ton. I can't think of. There's so many that was there last year. But Judas Priest was one I really wanted to see too.
Yeah.
But
that'd be awesome. That'd have been a great set.
They're supposed to be in Huntington coming up here, or Charleston or Huntington this month, I think.
Shit, that ain't too far from you.
No. And Korn's going to be there too. Tell you, man, Huntington and Charleston, those two places over in West Virginia, man, they're getting some good stuff coming in. And I know Lexington used to have a place. I can't remember the name of it, but they had Guar play it. As Buster's? Yeah, Buster's in Lexington, I think is what it used to be called, maybe.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And I think it's under a new management, but they're coming back, supposedly what I heard. So
I like to see the Green Lantern doing something. I hadn't heard anything out of that.
I haven't heard anything. I know this pandemic, man, it's hurt a lot of venues.
It's hurt a lot of it. Yeah, like I said, like I was talking about earlier, we've had quite a few cancellations just because like I said, either people just like we're kind of still kind of leery of it, or they just couldn't stay above water, and it's done.
Do you see this band, man, still pushing itself to not pigeonhole themselves to one genre and going outside that box a bit more? Maybe adding some type of musical instrument that maybe somebody thought that, oh, that's cool to add in there for this band.
I'm not going to I'm not going to give up any secrets, but yeah, that's definitely coming. Because like I said, we're wrapping up this album, and like I said, we've got riffs for days for an EP that we're wanting to put out, and we got some other kind of trick. We got a few more tricks up our sleeves that we're going to use for the EP. Like this album and the EP, man, they're going to be apples and oranges. I can tell you that. I mean, not saying that it's not going to be I'm not going to say like we're going to sell out or it's going to be poppy or any kind of thing. I mean, it's still going to be metal as fuck, but it's going to be like, damn, that band's doing that now.
What do you think that you brought to this table? Or shit, Lord, let me start that all over. See, folks, I told you it's not a good interview unless I screw something up. But what do you think that you bring to this band possibly that it was missing? Not knocking any other guitarists that's been part of this band whatsoever. I'm not doing that. I'm just asking, what do you bring to Artwork for the Blind that maybe puts it over that top for them?
Me, man, I'm always working. I am always trying to, push the name, push the music out there. So, that's something I feel that I've brought a lot to this band is just, the more of the marketing aspect of, trying to get our music out there and networking with, different, PR people and we've got a few small labels that have worked with us and a few companies that have worked with us. And I think that's a lot of what I brought to the table. I can't say I brought that to the table.
I wanted to step back here and talk about this too. I know you guys made this album in-house, but would you like to work with a producer at some point, or maybe get that recording contract? I know recording contracts are kind of loosely this time of day and age because they're not putting a whole lot of money into the recordings. But would you like to do that possibly?
The right person and the right deal. I mean, we're definitely open to it.
Mm-hmm. How can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merchandise, because you got these albums that are on here. You got a whole store. What's going on with this? How can they stay in touch with you all that good stuff for Artwork for the Blind, man? How can they do that?
We're on pretty much every social media. We're on every streaming service, and we've got our own website, www.artworkfortheblind.com. Got all our merch and stuff on there. All the albums are on there. Feel free to hit it up, check it out. Check out the streaming, and if you hear something you like on the streaming and you want a physical copy, please, by all means, buy one. I would highly recommend it.
Let me ask you this last one question. When are you guys going to be back out playing live, possibly? When is this going to happen? Do you know? Do you have a show coming up or anything whatsoever?
Playing tomorrow night at the Mag Bar in Louisville, Kentucky.
There you go, folks. If you're out in Louisville, get out and check out. And please, if it's real bad outside, just go. hopefully the roads will be clear tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the roads are pretty much clear down here, but it's still cold as shit outside.
Do you see, since the shows that you guys have been playing, there's been a better turnout, say pre-pandemic? Do you think it's gotten a lot stronger now?
Yeah, we've had a few good shows, here in the past few months. I mean, we haven't played really. We kind of took a break through the holidays like we always do. We don't like to play shows through the holidays. There's too much going on for us, and there's too much, expecting people to come to shows in the middle of Thanksgiving and shit like that. So this is probably one of the first shows we've had since the holidays. But before the holidays, we had a few good crowds.
That's crazy, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of these folks, and I know some are going to be still staying home because they're scared of what they see on the media and stuff like that, and that's understandable. But I think now people are going to be appreciating this a whole lot more.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
And another thing too, coming back out and start to do your own thing again, you're going to have to take baby steps to adapt back to, how am I going to talk to somebody? Know?
Right.
It's crazy. Saul, I will let you go, and I will continue throughout the podcast, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck, man. You're welcome back on here anytime, my friend.
All right, man. Let's do it again.
All righty, sir. See ya.
Bye.
That was Saul Williams from the band Artwork for the Blind. you want to get out and check those guys out, they have several albums that are out right now. They have a 7-inch album that's called Donnybrook, Artwork for the Blind 2, and A Dying Breed, and The Living Proof is another album. So get out and check that out. Oh, sorry, folks. Give me 1 second here. Lord mercy. Get out, check these guys out, give them a fair shot. I'm sure you guys will like them. And it's cool that they're a local band too, man. And I've had many conversations that they, there's a lot of good stuff around here. A lot of great musicians all over Kentucky, not just Kentucky, but everywhere. I want to talk about this for a little bit before I get out of here. I got a couple things actually to talk about. So Monday we lost John Zazula, aka Johnny Z. If you don't know him, go research him, look him up. Johnny Z is the Megaforce Records co-founder, and he passed away at the age of 69. Zazula founded Megaforce Records in the early 1980s with his wife, Marsha, which she passed away a couple years ago as well. So he's up there with her now. And helped jumpstart the career of the legendary Metallica when he signed them to Megaforce Records, of course. He'd been given a copy of the band's No Life Till Leather demo by a customer at his record stand, I should say, at a New Jersey flea market, and contacted the band in hopes of working together, which Megaforce Records released Metallica's debut album, Metal Up Your Ass, aka Kill 'Em All, and the second album from 1983, or 1984, I should say, Ride the Lightning. So Zazula also helped Anthrax, Testament, ex-Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley, Ministry, King's X, Overkill, and The Raven, and Raven, I should say, not The Raven, and Raven, are the biggest bands on the label. So, which also includes Craze Management as well. Johnny and Marsha were almost always side by side, a friendly and familiar presence at the metal concerts and events of the era. So, Johnny Z and his wife Marsha, they made a huge contribution to thrash and metal. So go and research this, because what he did, man, at this little flea market and selling records and cassettes and stuff, man, is just tremendous. I mean, they were actually helping the little guys, like I do on my podcast. So a lot of big things should go to John and Marsha, and they should be getting more respect than I think than what they are. That's just my opinion. Without Megaforce Records, you wouldn't have Metallica, Anthrax, stuff like that, Overkill, Testament, especially, the Mighty King's X was on there. You've got Ace Frehley, Ministry. I mean, he's helped a whole lot of bands out, which really sucks, man. I hate that we lost him, but I had the privilege to interview Mr. John Zazula on the podcast. It's out there. Go to YouTube to check that out. Look up BODS Mayhem Hour on YouTube, and you can check out that video. And just a great conversation with him, because he didn't talk a whole lot about the Metallica ordeal, and I understand why. I totally understand why. But we lost him too. So lots of crazy stuff happening, man. We've lost a lot of crazy people. We lost Meatloaf, which I couldn't believe. Which I found out that he had COVID, which was a shocking part. And Lou Anderson, which is comedy actor Louis Anderson. Just so crazy how 2022 is already starting out. I want to talk about this too. I saw this earlier. Inkcarceration Festival has released their festival lineup of bands, which I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So, some things are getting back to normal, which is cool, and I'm glad. Because I don't think a third year of these festivals not doing anything would be a catastrophe, I think, and that's just my opinion. Louder Than Life did theirs last year, which no media was there, and I understand it completely. But let's run down this Inkcarceration lineup here. And folks, I'm in here talking, so if you have anything, any questions that you'd like to ask me in here right now on the stream, just put it in the chat room, and I'll be able to answer it if I can get to it. Once again, I'm trying to figure out a way to, have help on this, to see some other questions that come into the chat room, things like that. Trust me, I'm working on it. I'm not giving up on this by any means whatsoever. So hate to, disappoint anybody, because I'm not giving up on this. All right, so Inkcarceration have released their lineup here. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event, of course. This is going to take place on July 15th through the 17th at Mansfield, Ohio. This is at the Mansfield Reformatory, folks. The haunted prison of Mansfield, Ohio. So that's I'm a paranormal person, so this goes hand in hand with me. So do a tour of the Mansfield, Ohio Reformatory, do the paranormal stuff, and then come out and check out all this awesome weekend. Shoot, I mean, toured the thing 3 times. That'll be up my alley. That is full show. But anyway, Friday night. This is what they've got listed for Friday so far. They've got As You Were, Paul Bartolome, Fate Destroyed, Impending Lies, Plainview, Zach Cash, Lacuna Coil, From Ashes to New, Born of Osiris, Dead. Oh my God, Oxymorons. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to say that one anyway. Spoken, I Prevail. There's a special guest that's going to be there that they've not released yet, so that's a hidden band, kind of like behind the radar. Sleeping with Sirens, Code Orange. Code Orange is a hell of a band. I would suggest everybody check those folks out. Rounding out the evening is going to be 3 Days Grace, Papa Roach, and Korn. So the bands that stick out for me personally on this would be Korn, Code Orange, From Ashes to New, Lacuna Coil, and I mean, if I like 3 Days Grace, but I like the old stuff. That's me only there. So Saturday, let's go to Saturday. Saturday, we kick off with Paralandra. All's Fair, Erasing Never, Farewell to Fear, Nearly Spent, Saint Asonia, Aaron Jones Volumes, Solence, Sick Brain's going to be there. Phenomenal band. Yes, sir. If I Die First, Widow 7, The Mighty Black Label Society, Theory of a Dead Man, Avatar, Spirit Box, Falling in Reverse, Evanescence, and Breaking Benjamin. Right off the bat on this day for Saturday. Oh, Lord, don't get me started. Black Label Society kicks off this, which kicks my which kicks me into gear because Black Label I love Black Label. Avatar is another good band. Spirit Box, Saint Asonia for sure. Sick Brain, love Sick Brain. I know they're kind of stuff that you wouldn't think I would listen to, but Sick Brain's awesome. Breaking Benjamin, love Breaking Benjamin. They got some really good stuff out there. And we're going to talk about Sunday's lineup. Sunday's lineup is going to be really cool too. Again, I would go to the Mansfield Reformatory prison that's on site there and do the daytime ghost hunt. That's what I would do. Every single day. That's what I would do, sir. Anyway, I'll get back to this. Sunday, kicking off Sunday, The Violent, Defying Decay, Dreamwalker, Aluka, War, Dark Horse Saloon, John 5, Butcher Babies, Fire from the Gods, Veil of Maya, Gemini Syndrome, Black Veil Brides, Jelly Roll, Nothing More, 10 Years, Sick Puppies, and end out the festival weekend for Inkcarceration 2022, Seether, Lamb of God, and Disturbed. Ones that stick out to me right off the bat is John 5, Fire from the Gods, Gemini Syndrome, Butcher Babies, Sick Puppies, 10 Years, Jelly Roll. I'll just say it, Jelly Roll's good, guys. Seether, The Mighty Lamb of God. This is just me personally. That's what I would do. That's just I would honestly love to go to this. But just have to wait and see how this all plans out. With some of my health issues, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm not giving up on any of this for sure whatsoever. They do have passes here that you can buy, weekend passes. They've got camping and they've got information here. So if you want to find out any more stuff about incarceration, buy tickets, things like that, go to inkcarceration.com. That's INKCARCERATION.com. And you can find him on Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, and Instagram. And Instagram, folks. Thank you, Artwork for the Blind, for that message. I appreciate you as well, guys. Welcome on here anytime as well. So, with that being said, there's a lot of things that's coming down the pipe for BODS Mayhem Hour. There's a lot of things that's going on festival-wise that's getting launched out right now. So stay tuned to things. We'll be bringing you stuff here, and we'll also be, giving away tickets for some shows like the Trinity of Terror tour that has Black Veil Brides, Ice9 Kills, and Motionless in White. That's going to be at the Appalachian Wireless Arena in April. So I'm going to be giving away 2 free tickets to that. There's a lot of things, man, that's coming down the pipe for BODS Mayhem Hour. So I would just like to thank each and every single person who still supports me, follows this podcast, and just is there for us. And I truly, truly appreciate each and every single person who supports me and my co-host who's helped me throughout all this, Waylon, Josh, everybody. Even with my other podcast, RhiAnna and Cortina, and just everybody who's helped out with this. Cannot thank you guys enough. So hopefully we'll have some more people on here, which we're going to have people on here as well, so it don't matter. Next Friday we're going to have Violent Idols. Violent Idols will be on the show next Friday, and should be another great show for BODS Mayhem Hour podcast. This Monday's episode of BODS Mayhem Hour, we're going to have, hang on, I'll tell you guys right fast who the guest is going to be. We will have Ryan Ramsdale of the Veer Union. He's going to be on the podcast, or the actual BODS Mayhem Hour show. So check it out. Support us. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Please support us on YouTube. Subscribe. I need the subscribers. I'm begging. I try so hard with this, but please support us, folks. That's all I'm asking, because we do a lot of good things for everybody. But anyway, find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. I much appreciate it. So thank you, guys and gals, and we will see you next Friday here on BODS Mayhem Hour Live Podcast. Thank you guys so much, and have a good weekend and stay safe, folks. Please stay safe.